What's going on, guys? Trey Monster here. Today I'm doing a top 20 abilities in AUT for PvP. Now, what I was going to originally do was a top 10, but there was just so much that I wanted to talk about. And also, the moment I was about to put this video out, they dropped the Love Train Killer Queen update, so I had to change some stuff around. But with that being said, I won't take too long to explain everything. To make everything fair, we are using rank/field rules, meaning that there are no traits or stats being used to determine the rankings of these abilities. Coming in at our number 20 spot, we have the new and improved Killer Queen. Now, Killer Queen is probably the most balanced of the newer abilities that has came. No, it is the most balanced. It is the most balanced ability of the new 3 that we have from this most recent update. It is pretty good. I like the fact that you can move stack the global detonation with your sheer heart attack so that you can use the coins right after. That is really cool. It's really cool to do. It's really fun to do. Where this ability falls short the most is that it only has a few hyper armors, and the hyper armors it does have are pretty good. They're pretty decent. Without your barrage though, you aren't able to use most of your moves effectively. Basically, if you can't hit your barrages, your entire moveset is useless other than your grabs. However, this moveset is very fun to play with, and once again, it is an unfinished moveset. There is still mastery to be added to this new Killer Queen rework, so we're gonna have to wait and see how good Killer Queen is after it gets its mastery. At number 19, we have regular D4C. So regular D4C, even after Love Train is out, is still a very, very good ability. It has decent range options, and I think both of its hyper armors are unpunishable. I know offstand R is, but don't quote me on capital punishment. And as you can see in the background of this video, after you hit your main combo, you have Killer Hand, which is a ragdoll bypass that after you do your main combo with will reset the damage scaling. The problem once again is that you need your barrage to really combo into anything. And this one suffers a bit more than Killer Queen in that area, honestly. I do think that D4C is easier to learn though, and has better range options, so that's why I'm putting it at the number 19 spot. At the number 18 spot, we have Shadow of the World Requiem. Now, Shadow of the World Requiem has recently been overhauled until it gets its official rework. And this overhaul is very, very good for Shadow of the World Requiem, and it has put it in a top 20 spot. Now having a projectile combo starter, lifesteal, and shields, it is a very good ability to use against your opponents. It has 2 ragdoll bypasses that also combo into each other, also very good moves on their own. And also, just about every move on Shadow of the World Requiem's moveset is low cooldown, meaning you can just crank out combos again and again. I've been using the Shadow of the World Requiem overhaul a lot in ranked recently. It is a very fun ability to use. If I had to recommend any ability in this entire video for you to pick up, it would be this one. In our number 16 spot, this is going to be a very weird one that you guys would never expect. At the number 16 spot, we have Weather Report. Now, Weather Report has not been touched in I don't even know how long. It hasn't been touched with balance changes in God knows how long. So how could it be at the number 17 spot? And I will tell you, Weather Report has a humanly impossible infinite combo. You can see I'm doing it in the background, and I haven't mastered it yet, so I don't really know the entire thing. I'll link the video I got it from down below, but Weather Report does have a humanly impossible infinite combo. It is completely true. I'll link it down below. Shout out to Landon Z. But this alone absolutely puts it in a top spot. Even though the infinite requires macros, if you have a mouse with side buttons, it's not going to be a problem for you. The downsides of this ability being that everything other than the barrage, basically, every move other than the barrage is slower than every other ability to come out. It's a very slow move set. It's very hard to start combos with Weather Report. But once you're in that combo, good luck getting out. Even Unawakened Weather Report has like a 200 damage combo that you can do off just a little bit of meter. And not to mention the snails, that if you get hit by a rainbow, you just have to take damage. You have to take combos. There's absolutely nothing you can do once you get hit with the rainbow. It's actually very, very good. Oh my god, it's the guy that bangs your mom in Deltarune. At the number 16 spot, we have Sans. Sorry, not sorry for the spoiler. Sans was already a good ability, however, a recent mini patch had made it so that Sans now has karma damage. And karma actually goes through blocks, so no matter what, you are always going to be taking ticks of karma damage. And it doesn't get affected by damage scaling, so it's always going to be 1 damage per tick of karma. Also, something else that's very weird on Sans is that Sans can counter almost anything in a universal time, including nukes from most abilities. And I assume it's because that Sans was made in a time before counter bypass moves were a thing, and it just wasn't like the coding wasn't updated or whatever. Sans can counter a majority of things that aren't supposed to be able to be countered. It is also a frame 1 counter, so Sans absolutely has the best counter in the game as of right now. And as a bonus, Sans does have some of the best, if not the best, M1s in the game. The main problem with Sans is that its main combo starter, which is Bone Guard, does have a little bit of startup. And though it does have Hyper Armor, it is a perfect blockable move. And Bait is also a perfect blockable move, so you're going to want to be careful trying to attempt combos with Sans. At number 15, we have Toji. I just made a video about Toji. Everyone knows that I love Toji. Toji is still a very good ability. It lacks from Hyper Armors, though, or at least Frame 1 Hyper Armors. It doesn't have any of those. It doesn't even have block breakers. It has 1 block breaker, too, which is unfortunate. A lot of block bypasses, but only 1 block breaker. And most of the block bypasses have so much startup anyway that they're not even worth using raw. Toji does make up for this by having some of the best M1s in the game, as Soul Split Katana and Playful Cloud can both be used to start combos, because if you do 3 M1s with Playful Cloud or Soul Split Katana, you can do your barrage right after. And fun fact, if you just do the first tap of your barrage, that can combo extend into every single move in your arsenal except for your ultimate. And because a lot of Toji's moves have high damage, you can do higher damage combos than other abilities while using less inputs than other abilities. Carnage is not worth using, though. Your Awakening is absolutely not worth using on Toji. There's no point of using it. It's just a waste of 100 meter. It only lasts 20 seconds. The chain carving isn't worth using up 100 meter for. At the number 14 spot, we have Gear 5. This is also an ability that I just made a video on. Now, unfortunately, I don't think you can obtain Gear 5 right now, as the quest is literally broken. So the only way to get it right now is through trading. But Gear 5 is a really good ability. It just got some buffs to it, some much needed buffs to it, bringing back some ragdoll bypasses and adding War Axe to the base kit, as well as allowing it to do both regular dashes and Soru. And it also is the best... and in my opinion, at least, it is the best ability to use on high ping. I'm actually going to go on a side rant for a second. I see people in my comments in my videos telling me, like, I'm complaining about being on EU ping. And it's like, 140 ping isn't that bad. 150 ping isn't that bad. It's average. No, that's your average. That's your average ping. And I'm sorry that either A, you can't get good internet, or B, you live in an area that doesn't have Roblox servers. Any ping, like, over 100 is high ping. And that's just factual. Anything over 100 is high ping. And I'm not saying it's not playable, it's high. But yes, Gear 5, best ability to use on high ping. If you die in base form with 100 meter, you get revived in Gear 5 form with 150 HP. However, do be careful, as Yuji's Simple Domain Manji Kick, as well as the World Over Heaven's Reality Overwrite, can cancel your Awakening mid-animation and just put you back into base form. And that goes for a lot of abilities as well. A lot of Awakenings you can just cancel with those 2 abilities. At number 13, we have Lock. Lock is basically a melee-only ability. It only has 1 projectile, and that projectile is supposed to be used to combo extend. But that really is the only downside of Lock. The only downside of Lock is that it's a melee-only based ability. Lock has a consistent 200 plus damage combo that you can do off of M1s, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't require you to start off with meter. On top of that, you have a button that gives you 100 shield for 25 meter, and if someone gets caught in that blast radius, they're taking 75 damage. And a lot of people don't know about this one, but offstand E does give lifesteal now on the final hit. It's not good lifesteal, but it is lifesteal. So Lock right now has some very good combos, as well as some very good survivability. Very, very annoying ability to fight. At number 12, I have Sukuna. Excuse me for the garbage gameplay you're about to see with Sukuna. I completely forgot all the combos for Sukuna that I did. However, Sukuna is still a soft ragdoll combo demon in this game, dude. Has some very good frame traps, has some very long combos, Once you get a black flash off, it's basically over for your opponent as you're about to do like a half health combo on them. I'm not gonna say it's easy to learn, but it's a lot simpler to learn than other abilities in this game. At least in terms of the skill floor. In the skill ceiling, I have seen some insane like Sukuna combos that I have never ever seen before in 1v1s that I just don't know how to explain. But Sukuna, I really don't have anything bad to say about the ability. Oh, it also has an evasive, by the way. Because it definitely needed that after it got added into the game. It definitely needed an evasive. But Sukuna, 8 months later after getting added, still holds up really well in the current meta of AUT. Number 11, I have the World Over Heaven. The World Over Heaven is a Sane at both aggressive and passive play. Back in January, got 2 new moves added to it, those being its counter and reality overwrite through the mastery system, and it turned the World Over Heaven into an amazing ability after already being a good ability in the first place. Not only can the World Over Heaven users heal themselves through their counter now, Reality Overwrite bypasses any type of iframes, it'll remove armor for a while, it will remove traits, stats, and it will put an opponent's ability on cooldown for a while. And that's all on top of already having really good ragdoll bypass combos. Now we're finally in our top 10, and we're going to start it off with Tuskak 4. Tuskak 4 is an all-rounder, very good ability. Very good at melee combat, very good with projectiles, has some very good projectiles. At 50 meter, your projectiles every other hit will apply a random status effect, which used to apply freeze, and if you had 100 meter, that would let you get a free lesson 5 off, aka the best beatdown in the game. But even after nerf, after nerf, after nerf, Tuskak 4 is still a very good ability. It has the ability to heal itself, has a little self-heal. Now, before I made this current list, in the older list, I had it lower on the tier list in placement. It was still on the list, however, it was lower in placement. I moved it up in placement because, and this is going to spoil things, but it is one of the only things that can counter an ability that is higher up on this list. We'll get there soon. Number 9, White Snake. White Snake, to this day, hasn't been touched in I don't know how long, other than the healing changes. And to this day, it is still an extremely easy, extremely powerful ability to use. 4-on-1 combos, hyper armors that are unpunishable, decent projectiles. Probably the best healing move in the game. All you do is literally tap the button and you instantly get heals, and you can just tap it again to get right back into the fight. Just cancel the complete animation. On demand 20 HP that's not on that long of a cooldown is actually insane. Not to mention that if someone steps in your cream, you basically steal their stock. Their stock is gone. It's over. Number 8 is Soul Survivor / Minos Prime. It did get a slight nerf. Its shockwaves don't ragdoll anymore, so you're not just completely helpless the moment one move strikes you. Or no. It doesn't ragdoll you if you're not ragdolled already, but if you are ragdolled already and another shockwave hits you, it resets the ragdoll timer. Alright, that being said, Minos before the dumbass shockwave changes was already good. There really wasn't a reason to add the shockwaves, and the shockwaves are extremely annoying. However, I am glad with the grab change and with the Diendus Now change, as well as overhead being able to teleport to ragdolled enemies. If there's something that the Minos overhaul did do right, it is making some of the useless moves having actual uses, so I am glad about those. The shockwaves though, just way too much. Number 7, Star Platinum the World. I don't know how this ability hasn't gotten nerfed yet, other than the bearing shot change, which for some reason I don't think it applied in ranked, because I can still do R into T and it's completely true. The burst time stop is very annoying to deal with. Offstand E is very annoying to deal with. The counter is completely unpunishable. Actually, I don't see a lot of people doing this, but the last hit of offstand E on Star Platinum the World can be countered. So what happens if you do get hit with the move while you are blocking is you let it hit you 3 times, dash before the 4th one hits you, and then on the 5th one, you can just perfect block that. What I do hate about this ability is that the beatdown is stupid long just for it to do less damage than like most other beatdowns. It should either just be less time or make it do more damage. There's no point of having it that long just to do like less damage than Sticky Fingers beatdown. Number 6, and you might be surprised this isn't higher, but it is Umbra. Base Umbra sucks. Base Umbra is terrible. Base Umbra sucks to use. It is easily counterable. It is slow. There is nothing good about Base Umbra. That all changes when you get 100 meter for the awakening. Awakened Umbra sucks to fight, dude. Terrible to fight. Once you awaken with Umbra, you can just mash buttons and you win. You just mash buttons and you win. That's it. That's all. That's all you do. Also, you heal some of your health back from base form once you awaken, by the way. Awakened Umbra is extremely easy to play. There's not a lot of counterplay to it. It's just like, and you know what's going to happen probably? They're probably going to buff it again once Mayhem comes out. Now, people didn't see Umbra at all on my last tier list, and you're probably wondering why. And that's because in 4.5, Umbra got nerfed to the point where just about every move in Awakened form was perfect blockable. So if you knew what the F key was, you literally had no problem fighting Umbra. There was no problem fighting Umbra. But now they reverted most of the abilities that can be perfect blocked, so now Umbra is annoying to fight again. Kicking off the top 5 spot is Marrow. Once you get 1 petrification in with Marrow, you basically win the game. Having 200 plus damage combos off of 0 meter is absolutely absurd. Also having 100 damage projectiles that petrify is absolutely absurd, also off of 0 meter, as you just saw right there. The only downside to Marrow is that the only actual downside I can think of with Marrow is that it has a lower M1 damage than normal abilities. That's it, that's all. Everything else about this ability, the fact that just about every petrification ability can combo into each other, is absolutely insane. Before I get to my number 4 and 3 picks, I do want to say that these two abilities are interchangeable. You could think that one is better than the other, and I would not blame you at all. At number 4, we have Xeno. I'm sure nobody is surprised about this. This thing has insane damage now with its passive that weakens your opponent the more you hit them. Also, it has its own, and just like Marrow, it has its own 200 plus damage combo off of, I think it's 25 meter. It does require a little meter to do, but it still has a 200 plus damage combo. It's insane. Lots of stupid auto aims, hyper armors, lots of stupid projectiles. It's just, I hate this ability so much, dude. Okay. Number 3, Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight was in our, was it top 3 or 2 in the last video? I don't know. But it's still up there because it hasn't received any nerfs whatsoever. That's a lie. Most of the abilities got buffed. The only thing that did get nerfed is the shield, which turned it from 2 seconds of intangibility to 2 seconds of having 100 meter, which I don't really feel the need to use that ability that much anymore. However, just about every other ability has damage over time fire now, and if you're at 100 meter, standing in the bubbles where it gives the damage over time fire will heal you. I really didn't see the need to make an already top ability even better, but here we are, I guess. What Dragon Knight lacks in combo potential, he makes up for in survivability, as he has 625 health and passively increased defense and a revive if you die with 100 meter. And using leap at the right time also allows you to avoid certain moves. And also, it's a little bit hard to hit, but Dragon Knight also does have a soft ragdoll, that being Dragon's Fury, and that allows you to do a 200 damage combo. And now in Revive, you also have extra defense and attack and special, because that was definitely needed. We definitely needed to make an already top tier ability even better. Okay. We're on to the top 2 now. And you're already thinking, I'm pretty sure you already know what 2 abilities are on top if you actually do play the game. The problem is which one is ahead of which other one. And also, before I get to that, I'll give a few honorable mentions out to Gold Experience Requiem, Soft and Wet, Dawn with Ascension 5+, Yuji, Asgore, and Shinigami, and Crazy Diamond would be on this list if its main combo extender wasn't broken in ranked right now. So shout out to Crazy Diamond. I'll give that an honorable mention in this video. The honorable mentions that I just listed are still very good abilities. However, they just aren't as good as the other stuff that I mentioned in this video. Okay. Number 2, D4C Love Train. On top of just about every move having high damage, that's not even the worst part. Love Train is a passive where once it comes up, it stays there forever unless your opponent hits your Love Train, which results in the opponent taking damage themselves in order to attempt to break down your love train. And once it's off cooldown, it just pops right back. As long as you have 75 meter, it'll just pop right back after a short cooldown. Yeah, very fun to fight. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking making this one, dude. I genuinely don't know. There's only 2 counters to this ability. The number 1 thing in this video, and there's only 2 counters to this ability realistically. The number 1 ability in this video and Tusk Act 4. Tusk Act 4 completely bypasses Love Train. A good Tusk Act 4 can in fact win against a Love Train user, albeit even without the Love Train thing, it is still very hard. On top of a majority of the abilities on Love Train not needing any meter. A majority of the abilities just straight up don't need meter. I don't get it. Okay. Number 1, Wonder of You. No surprise. Wow. Actually, for some of you, it might be a surprise. Because some people think that just because Wonder of You got nerfed, people see the word nerf, and they say, oh my god, Wonder of You's so bad now, it's not worth using. It's still the best fucking ability in the game, and it's not even close. I don't know what people were thinking when they saw that just because the stun thing on pilot mode got removed, the no stun thing on pilot mode got removed, people think this is somehow worse than like base Hamo now. People, like, I swear, this is what actual real people think about this ability, and it's just not true, dude. Like, the only nerfs it got realistically was the getting no stun on pilot mode removed, and then I think you actively have to be engaging with your opponent, either them hitting you or you hitting them for your calamities to activate or something like that. I don't remember, but that realistically were the only nerfs to this ability, and that's it. Yes, you can block both the grabs now. They're not reactable, but hey, you can block them even though they're not humanly reactable. You can still block them though. Like, let's get fucking real, dude. Let's seriously get real. Oh, by the way, Wonder of You's X grab completely shreds through Love Train. Completely, like, demolishes Love Train. We're also acting like Wonder of You didn't get stat increases in pilot mode. It has more damage, defense, and special in pilot mode now, because why not? And we're also acting like Impact Calamity didn't get super buffed by ignoring the meter requirements for the calamities when it activates. Like, hello. All of this on top of, for whatever reason, having a revive when you die with 100 meter. But yeah, you know, Wonder of You is just so bad just because people see the word nerf on it. People see the word nerf and think it's bad. It's still the greatest ability in the game by far, no question. This video is done. Goodbye. Actually, wait. Join my Discord server. I'm doing a giveaway for 3,000 subscribers. Okay, now I'm done. Goodbye.